Hey everyone, welcome to Dad Casual, where full-time dads and casual gamers come together to discuss everything we love about the games we wish we had more time to play. Thanks for being here. If you would, please take a moment to follow and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and your favorite podcast platform of choice. And maybe just leave us a review. And if you ever have any questions at all, topics and thoughts, feel free to email dadcasualpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, and maybe we'll read your question on the show. And without further ado, this is Dad Casual. Hey, what's up, everybody? We've got the whole crew back today, and we're really excited. Sorry, everyone, from last week. I know we did a spoiler cast, so you might have tuned in only to bail because you didn't want to hear spoilers yet. But we're back, and we're going to be spoiler-free this episode. And I think this will be a fun one because the Game Awards just happened. There were lots of game announcements, a few wild moments, one really wild moment. It's going to be fun. And, of course, we're going to go over the winners and our predictions that we made a few weeks ago. But first, let's introduce the crew. We've got Preston.
What's up? What's up?
We got Houston.
I'd like to dedicate this to my rabbi, Bill Clinton.
And for context, we'll talk about that later. I'm Andy. What's up, everybody?
What is up?
We're going to dedicate our podcast. Bill Clinton, he's a dad.
Orthodox rabbi, Bill Clinton.
Maybe we
can be
can
specific.
If
it's actually a different Bill Clinton.
Listening right now.
Billiam Clinton.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we can get him on.
Whoa, that'd be wild for a video game podcast.
Yeah. So Bill, tell us what you play with Chelsea. Anyway, so for context, the Game Awards happened, and we'll get into what all that means at the end of the show. But I'm really excited to get into it, man. There were so many different announcements, and I'm curious. Did you guys watch the show?
I watched the whole thing. It was great. Had it on while I was working here at the house, and lots of cool announcements. Obviously, a lot of different awards. I like that they went through the awards quickly, some of them, and then did some for the bigger ones.
Yes.
More of a show.
Yeah, they seem very self-aware of some people care about the awards, but most people only care about the big ones. So let's not do what the Academy Awards does and just just kill you while you wait, you know? And Houston, did you get a chance to watch, or was it more of a recap?
It was more of a recap for me. So I was at a Christmas party while it was actually happening, and then I watched a few of the highlights, and then caught a bunch of the trailers and stuff, and award acceptance speeches and stuff after the fact. So I didn't actually get to watch it front to back.
What are you guys' thoughts? I mean, this is kind of the first podcast for us where, we started after E3 happened, and I think that's, the big moments of the year. There's only a few of them. Of course, now it's changed a little. PlayStation has their state of play, and Xbox just does whatever it does. Nintendo still has its directs, and so but traditionally E3 and the Game Awards for a while now have been big moments for news and gaming. Do you get excited for these times, or for you, are you kind of I don't play most of the games, so it's just kind of I'll see what's there?
I've definitely been into this kind of thing for a while, be it the Game Awards, E3, the Oscars, the Grammys, whatever. I actually really enjoy award show type things just because it gives me a chance to, catch up with anything that I've missed over the year, which is I think really nice, because I don't fully pay attention to every facet and what's the best in every genre or every just stem of video games. So it's really cool to kind of see that recap.
Yeah. How about you, Preston?
Yeah, I would say that for me, a lot of the big AAA games, as you guys know, aren't my favorites. There are some, obviously, but I say that. But the ones that were up for Game of the Year, not many of them did I play or really care to play. So I'm always excited about the different announcements and things like that. And we got to see the Mario movie trailer, which was awesome.
Yeah.
That was the third one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just interesting how, like, you know, some people now are like really anti-award shows. They're like, why would I watch a show of people like the Oscars is the one I always think of, like, oh, just rich people giving themselves awards. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, that's, I guess, an angle you could see it as. I guess I'm never as invested. Like, if my favorite game gets snubbed, I don't really care. I still love the game. So, like, but I do think it's kind of fun to see the developers, and sometimes there are really cool moments, or like, I don't know, like, we'll get into it, but like when Christopher Judge, he won the Best Performance Award. Like, that was an awesome moment of the show. It was kind of long.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a little long-winded.
So Jeff Keighley, at one point, who's the founder and the creator of the Game Awards, and he also runs Summer Games Fest over at YouTube and Google. But he, at one point after that, he was like, Steam is giving away a Steam Deck for every minute of the Game Awards. And he's like, Christopher Judge gave away like 8 of them.
Yeah, I remember that.
So he's like, so we better get this going or Steam's going to be mad at us.
That was his second award, right? For Kratos specifically.
Yeah, I mean, he won in 2018.
Yeah. So that was cool to see him come back up. And see that person who is not Kratos speak, which is really cool.
So I was just going to quickly go through some of the winners and the different places. So just the big ones, game of the year was Elden Ring this year. I mean,
kudos, hand claps.
I'll just kind of read through these, just the big ones, and then maybe we can just talk about if you guys are like surprised or disagree, or I don't know if you even snub. Game direction was also Elden Ring. I was surprised on that one. Best narrative was God of War Ragnarok. I felt like I wasn't too surprised on that. Art direction, Elden Ring. Score and music was God of War. Audio design, God of War. Performance, God of War. Games for Impact, As Dusk Falls. Ongoing game was Houston. You guessed this one right. Final Fantasy 14 Online.
There it is.
Best indie game was Stray.
Yeah, congrats, Blue 12.
We all guessed that one. Best debut indie game, which was its own category, was also Stray. So that, okay, yeah. Best mobile game was Marvel Snap. We all got that one. Community support, Final Fantasy. VR and AR game, Moss Book 2. Best action game was Bayonetta 3. Like, what?
Yeah, that one, like, I was like, okay. That's weird.
That game has a huge, like, hardcore fan base. Well, but maybe not huge, but it does have a very hardcore fan base.
Is it based on votes from fans, all of these, or no?
No, it's a mixed bag of, I believe that journalists and game developers, like people who work in the industry, have a more heavy weight to their vote, I believe. But then fans can influence it. And then Sifu Neon White. I mean, even TMNT I thought would be over Bayonetta, but whatever. Action Adventure was God of War. RPG was Elden Ring. Fighting game was Multiverses. I didn't get that one. You guys both got it. Both of you guessed Multiverses.
I forgot I guessed that, but that's surprising actually.
Best family game was Kirby. I was the only one who got that. I think you guys said Lego Star Wars was you, Houston, and Preston, you said Switch Sports. Best sports racing was Gran Turismo 7. That's just you, Preston. You guessed that one.
Yeah.
Sim strategy game was Mario plus Rabbids. Houston, you were the only one to guess that. Best multiplayer game nobody got was Splatoon 3.
Oh, snap.
That's so weird to me.
That's wild.
It is a fun game.
To be fair, like, people said it was innovative and changed, and it was like really, really good. So okay.
Kudos.
So that's pretty much it. Oh no, there was one more. Most anticipated game was what we thought: The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, and
What's crazy to me with the voting too is Splatoon beat Call of Duty, right?
Yeah, invest multiplayer game.
Call of Duty didn't get any awards, it doesn't look like.
No, that's crazy.
Call of Duty is kind of known for not winning, though. Like, I don't know if it's just, there's just from the industry.
Stigma.
Maybe the industry just looks at it like
Another one.
It just another one, and they can't break it.
Can we get that DJ Khaled symbol in the edit? Another one.
Another one.
I mean, only one. Like, I mean, I'm thinking sports games too. Like, you have Madden, you have NBA 2K, WWE 2K, all these different just recurring games that come out every year.
Yeah, they're incremental. They're not they're not usually mind-blowingly different. I mean, to be fair, I was saying as you were playing this one, like right before we streamed one night, that Modern Warfare 2, like this one looks incredible. So I don't know. I feel like that was a little bit of a snub.
Yeah, it's kind of wild though, because like we're surprised that a small game beat a big game, right? But like, I mean, last year Game of the Year went to Hades, which is totally a small game in my opinion. I mean, they've got a big publisher, but other than that, like it's an indie by definition. I think Supergiant's still indie. Some people there's a new term being thrown around. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called triple I. It's like an independent game that is given a lot of money,
but a big one. Yeah.
So it's like it's a bigger indie than you.
It's like wouldn't that be just like a single A game? Like, wouldn't you call it that at that point?
No, because like I think most people when they think single A, double A, triple A, they think like money. I think how big is this game? That's what I think of. I don't know.
Supergiant, Annapurna, those are pretty big companies now.
Yeah, but the games themselves, it's not like God of War. You're not like, I wouldn't call it triple A, but some of those games are huge, like are amazing.
Yeah, it's not a $20 to $40 million budget, but yeah, I get that.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of interesting. So anyway, so I did total our tallies up. So Houston, you won by the most categories. You got 10 categories correct. I got 9 and Preston got 8, but I had this is gonna sound like I'm cheating. I preliminarily we had put, and I said it on the show, like how many points each category would be worth, and because we weighted Game of the Year heavier than any other category, we gave 4 points just for that. It totaled out that I got 23 points, Houston you got 21, and Preston got 17.
Good show.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take the trophy. We'll try again next year.
Bring it.
Cool. So, speaking of, outside of the awards, which I think are fun, let's talk about the announcements that happened. And I just want to ask you guys, what were there any, before I start listing anything, like standouts, or was there that Gatorade get hyped moment?
I really, really wanted to see Rockstar there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
womp,
they never do that.
I know, but with all of the rumors and the hype and the leak and
but say if there was a spot to show something, it's either this or the next E3. So
yeah, they like to randomly be like, "Hey y'all, next week we're having our own stream."
Yeah, and it's going to be at 9:30 a.m.
and you're going to be like, and everyone's like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah,
I know. I remember the one for Red Dead.
GTA 5.
Oh, the one I'm thinking about was for Red Dead.
Yeah.
I don't recall that, but I'll need to go check that out.
But speaking of those type of games, Crime Boss, Rockay City looked pretty.
Kind of a weird name. But yeah, I thought immediately of you, Preston.
Yep. That one looks ridiculous, and the cast is even more ridiculous. So,
who's the cast?
I have it up. Travis Baker, which is Michael Madison, and his team of planners, this is from their official website, and handlers, Michael Rooker, Kim Bassinger, Danny Glover, and Damien Potier. Mm-hmm. And also Danny Trejo and Vanilla Ice.
Bro, what?
And the righteous sheriff, Chuck Norris.
That's amazing. I'm looking at the screenshot right now. It's incredible.
You got to look it up. So it's totally I want to say 80s, but it says 90s. So in the summary,
Yeah.
this is what it says. Crime Boss Rocky City is a star-studded stealth action first-person shooter where players work to become leaders of a criminal underworld set in a fictional version of 1990s Florida.
Oh, this looks incredible. This does look like GTA, but like...
It's Vice City, bro. It totally...
Yeah. But with famous people, like actual actors like portraying more or less themselves in the game, which I think is a really cool trend that we're seeing.
We need to see more of that. I was thinking that about how like when are we going to be like there's Leonardo DiCaprio's playing the villain in this next game. You know,
Bro, I think that's coming.
I think so too.
Soon. I think just with the way, and I think I sent it earlier, but like even Fortnite updating recently was incredible. I don't know if y'all have seen it lately, but they completely redid.
Oh, they switched engines to Unreal Engine 5, right?
Yeah, they're in Unreal Engine 5, and
that's a
playing it. Yeah, I played it tonight even, and I was like, "This is beautiful."
Oh, I need to go check that out. That sounds awesome.
Just, yeah, I think it's becoming almost more movie-like. So,
yeah. Well, I do think like Far Cry 6 had Giancarlo Esposito. Like he was the villain of that. The guy
Juan Carlo, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, am I saying his name wrong? Sorry, everybody.
The worst.
Anyway, it's Gus from Breaking Bad. Los Pollos Hermanos.
Yeah, okay. Giancarlo. Yeah, you had it right.
Anyway, yeah, like he's a major actor, I think. He's become one. So
definitely. And even further onto that, and this kind of ties into the Game Award announcements, Hideo Kojima announced Death Stranding 2 with Norman Reedus and Lea Seydoux and Troy Baker, and they were all there like at the awards, which I thought was really cool. And so I know that first game was very, very polarizing, but I was shocked to see how soon this one was announced and coming out, because he like, I don't know. He announced the first one like 2 or 3 years before it actually came out, and like dropped like a pretty big, huge,
way before it came out.
Well done trailer.
I thought it was going to be like 10 years. I was like, this is.
But he did it on purpose, and it like he left a lot of like hints in the trailer to like leave room for like tons of speculation. And so he did the same with this one. Mads Mikkelsen, which is one of my favorite actors, is also in this one as well.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, I never played it. I'm going to be honest. I think every time I thought about it and I looked at the gameplay, I was like, just the gameplay doesn't seem interesting to me. Like
you're a post-apocalyptic UPS man.
And then even more than that, the story looked even less interesting. Like, and from everyone I've heard, they're like, I don't really know. It's just gobbledygook. Like,
it's really weird, but it's gorgeous.
I mean, it looked pretty. Yeah, it's just.
It has some of the coolest like horror elements I've ever seen in like any medium, which I thought was really cool. It has really unique ideas. Sure, they didn't all land, and I'll definitely grant it that's not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a very intriguing game.
Yeah, it's just gonna be tough for me. Right into the show if you're like you have to play it, and maybe if you do that, I'll give it a shot.
I think the first one's on PS Plus Extra, so if you wanted to give it a shot and you're a PlayStation owner, you can. Yeah. And this one is a PlayStation Studios game now.
Yeah.
Yep.
But which is interesting because Kojima Productions is not owned by PlayStation yet.
No, but I guess he just gave him exclusive rights.
Yeah, that's interesting. And he did announce that this isn't the only game in development he's working on. So if you were hoping for something from Kojima other than Death Stranding, I guess he's still working on that, but it sounds like Death Stranding 2 will be his next release.
Yeah. That it excites me more that he's almost more than Death Stranding 2, that he is working on even newer materials, which it's got to be another new IP because he doesn't own Metal Gear anymore. So,
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the first one that I wanted to bring up that I'm pretty excited about, which might not have necessarily everyone like really been paying attention to, was Judas. Were you guys paying attention to that game? If you should, you should pull it up.
That's from the creators of BioShock, right?
BioShock. And so I spoke on my favorite games of all time that BioShock is like one of my favorite games ever. And it's by
this game looks beautiful.
Yeah, so it's by the director called Ken Levine, and it's honestly, we haven't even had a Ken Levine's game, I think, since they went to Columbia in BioShock Infinite, and so I'm really pumped. He established his own studio called Ghost Story Studio, and it's supernatural. It's got a little bit of sci-fi, but it totally has reminiscent feelings to BioShock, like. It
looks like a spiritual successor for sure.
Yeah, it's like undeniable. And so, and we've kind of had teases that he was making a game, and that he's been working on it for a long time. And so I think this is it. And I was kind of thrown off by the name. I wasn't like, I want to know where Judas like fits into it, but yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, I guess it could be like that theme of like a betrayer of some type. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it definitely has that like almost like Dishonored / BioShock first person action vibe.
One of the coolest things he does is world building, in my opinion. And I think world building is one of the most interesting things of video games. Like when you first play Skyrim or Elden Ring or BioShock or any of those games where you're like, this feels lived in and real and cool. Like I love that. And so, and that can be true about, a Grand Theft Auto too, Liberty City. Like if it feels well crafted, like sometimes the world is the most interesting character. And so that's what I like about Ken Levine.
Nice. That actually gets me excited for that one too. That trailer was pretty epic.
Yeah. All right, Preston, you got another one that you wanted to talk about?
I thought honestly Suicide Squad looked pretty good.
Yeah, me too.
That was going to be my next one as well. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
And the voice is going to be, there's Batman in it, right?
Yep,
with
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
It's his last role, right?
His last one. Yeah.
Well, all they confirmed is that it will be his last in the Arkham universe. They didn't necessarily confirm that there's not another animated series, anything with him yet. But they said this will be his final game in the Arkham universe.
Gotcha. And for listeners that hadn't heard that news, that Kevin Conroy, the voice actor that played Batman in the animated series and all the Arkham games, recently passed away.
Yeah, which was awful. There's been obviously tons of tributes from Mark Hamill, who was the infamous voice of the Joker, and like people paying tribute to him, and it's just definitely sucks.
Mm-hmm. But he will be missed.
But the game, you know what's so interesting, Preston, is that Batman's in the game, but like the whole point of Suicide Squad is that all the heroes in the Justice League have been like mind controlled, and so like it's an evil Batman.
Yeah, and I mean, isn't the game called Kill the Justice League?
It is.
Yeah. So, are you the bad guy or the good guy?
Well, if the Justice League turned evil, like I guess you're the bad guys being the good guys. I don't know.
Anti-heroes.
Yeah.
It's a good story. Or potential to be a good story.
Yeah, that's wild. I think that game, to me, has always looked more interesting than, though one day I think I will play it, Arkham Knights.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird having two Batmans side by side like that, or not Batman's, I'm sorry, two DC games so quickly side by side, but I'm excited for it. I think it'll be fun, and especially if there's a little multiplayer, would be really fun. I just like that each of the characters look very different to play, as opposed to the Arkham Knights games, or it's Gotham Knights. It's Gotham Knights.
Yeah, there's Arkham Knight and then Gotham Knights.
Yeah, that's confusing.
Two separate games.
Yeah.
Another one real quick. I'm actually on my PS app as we're talking, just to double confirm it. The Forspoken demo is now available for PS5.
It is. Oh man, I'm going to do the same thing.
Downloading the console right now.
Especially a demo. You play it. We could talk about it next week. I just thought about that. That's true.
What's the game called?
Forspoken?
Forspoken. It's PlayStation's next AAA game. AA, AAA.
It's Square Enix, so I'd call it AAA.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
called.
and
They've had a bunch of trailers for the last, honestly, for like 8 months or to a year. It just keeps getting delayed. I wasn't really that excited for it, but the more they show, the more I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah, from what I remember from the brief trailers that I saw, I haven't paid too much attention to it, but it kind of feels like a almost like a Miss Marvel kind of situation where it's like this normal person that like is granted superpowers for some reason or another, and then she gets like transported to like this mystical world where she gets to like grow into these powers, and like it just looks beautiful. There's a lot of particle effects, and it's like you're a superhero kind of vibe, single player, semi-open world action RPG thing.
Yeah, I really like the movement, the traversal. I like that's such a big thing in any game for me. Like if you can navigate terrain and space, and especially in a city, that can be really cool. But yeah, it looks awesome. Yeah, I just queued that up. Oh, not enough storage. I'm gonna have to move some things around.
You just bought that big hard drive, dude.
Yeah, but I did that in the summer, and I haven't deleted anything, and I've downloaded so many games. So I probably filled it up.
You finished God of War, right?
So we talked about that. I finished the main game. We talked in the last spoiler cast that I finished it, but there's like end game stuff and some things left to button up.
There's a ton, yeah.
So you're not going to delete it yet?
Not quite yet. I'm probably going to, I'll play a few more nights or so. I don't know if I'll 100% it, but I'll play a little bit more. Guys, another one that I really want to play with you guys is Party Animals.
Yeah, that looked
and I know
like a party game.
I think it's an Xbox only game.
Is it?
It's not on PlayStation. Yeah, it's definitely not on PlayStation right now.
That trailer was freaking hilarious.
I mean, that one's been out for a little bit, yeah.
No, we've been waiting on Party Animals for a long time.
Okay.
You're thinking of Gang Beasts, which was a lot, which is basically the same thing, but this one looks more polished. It has weapons, it has vehicles, there's just a lot more going on, and it doesn't. Gang Beasts was a little janky. This one doesn't look as bad. I'm pretty excited.
Nice. Very, very cool. Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Santa will bring me an Xbox. I really doubt it, but
he might.
Were you guys Hades fans? Because Hades 2 was announced.
I didn't get a chance to play it.
Surprise.
But I know a lot of people were psyched for it because it got a bunch of like Game of the Year awards last year.
Yeah. This is my chance to finally try Hades, I think. Because I'm like, okay, they're coming out with a sequel. I should dive into it. I'm just not usually a roguelike fan. I don't like the idea of like not making progress. You know what I mean? Like, I have to beat it in one run. I don't know. It's not usually my cup of tea. But maybe the game, a lot of people say, I think there are soft progression elements in it that like you may die and restart, but you hit certain checkpoints or you did this. Like, so I definitely want to play it. What I'm fascinated about is the new Armored Core.
I was just about to ask about that one, and this is like a reboot, right? They haven't been an Armored Core game in a few years, right?
No, and have either of you played Armored Core?
I feel like I've played at least one of them.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. There's 5 of them, right?
Plus a few like side games, yeah.
Yes, but Armored Core 5 was, gosh, what was it? A PS3 game?
It says 2012, so that would be, late PS3.
Yeah, so. It isn't one. Yeah, I'm looking at images now too. It's just weird because to me it is before it's like From Software before Dark Souls. And like not entirely, but it's weird now to be like, wow, like everything from Software is so stylized like Dark Souls, like Sekiro, Elden Ring, all the things that aren't technically Dark Souls, Bloodborne, they have that Dark Souls DNA in them. Like you can just see it. And so like it's weird to think now that maybe they would go like back to Armored Core the way it used to be, or it's just interesting.
Well, see, according to Metacritic, like 5 looks like it only got a 65% or a 65-point score on Metacritic. So maybe they want to try to refresh it. And it's been, what would that be, 9 years? Well, by the time it comes out, it'll be 10 years, so a full decade. I think this kind of game, I mean, if they made 5 of them, I'm sure they have enough of a fan base to warrant, I don't know, a revival. So we'll see.
Yeah. PC Gamer, Tyler Wild says, From Software says Armored Core 6 won't emulate Dark Souls or Elden Ring. It is all about mech customization.
Did y'all ever play Mech Warrior?
No.
I was a fan of the Gundam games. I did play quite a few of those. And that's kind of like a similar vibe, I believe. But Mech Warrior, no, I'm not familiar with that one.
That's an old PC game. I think it was PC. Pretty sure. It looked that's what it MS-DOS, PC 98,
oh gosh,
Super NES,
nice,
PlayStation, and Sega Saturn.
I did play a little bit of both of the Titanfall games, and those were really fun. I like the mech shooter games are pretty fun in my book.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I am now a Miyazaki fan, so I gotta play it.
There you go. Yeah, I didn't realize when we first started talking it was a FromSoft game, so that's super interesting, actually. And I mean, now with the Elden Ring under their belt as Game of the Year, I mean, they'll probably get some. I mean, I don't know, like that doesn't guarantee like extra funding, but I'm sure they'll get a boost in sales from that. So
yeah, gotta get something, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is their second Game of the Year award too. And they won. Yeah. He won for Sekiro.
That's true. Let's talk about Viewfinder, because we were talking about that earlier before the podcast. So I think you have to watch the trailer to understand what's going on, because I didn't know what Andy was talking about until he told me to watch the trailer. If you've played Superliminal, which came out a couple of years ago, where it's like a reality bending like sandbox type game. This is very much that, but it's from the perspective of like you placed photographs in the environment, and then you can like the photograph kind of like breaks the fourth wall, and then like things that are 2D become 3D, and you can use like something that's a door in a photograph and use it as a bridge in real life, and it does all kinds of like weird mind breaking activities like that. So like it kind of reminded me of Superliminal, and then like maybe a little bit of the Stanley Parable. And then we saw another one called Maquette, which is a very similar idea as well.
Yeah. I played that one on PS4, I think.
Superliminal?
Marquette. However you send it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that one was already out. Okay. I thought that was
that one's pretty fun. It's on PS Plus and a few different other places, I think. Superliminal, I think, is probably more similar to this game that we're looking at. But man, I love good puzzle games, and like games like this fall into that category for me. And it's a little trippy.
Yeah, it feels like you're actually like on something because of how, at least I feel like it is. It's very it's very like mind blowing, which is weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we were just recently talking about how Eric Williams from God of War was talking about if he had, in a perfect world, if he had the rights to Castlevania, he would love to make a game.
Yes, I know. I thought about that too.
We were like, oh, well, Castlevania hasn't had like a sequel or anything like in a long time. Like this franchise has kind of been more or less dead. And then we get this announcement at Game Awards that Dead Cells is doing a collaboration with them, which is kind of a cool thing.
So wild.
I'm not particularly into Dead Cells, but it is cool to hear about a new Castlevania game.
Yeah, I mean, I just talked about how like I don't really necessarily love roguelikes, and that's what Dead Cells is. But I do have Dead Cells, and it's very, very fun. It is fun for just like a pick up and play game. And dude, come on, a crossover with Castlevania, that's so cool.
Yeah, I think any developer would be honored to be part of that collab. It's kind of like the kind of same level of collab of like Mario versus Rabbids, like having Ubisoft take the Mario license. I think like having Dead Cells take the Konami license, I think is a really cool thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what we talked about, where like, okay, this shows Konami's willingness to let other people use the license. Like the license is just sitting there; they're not using it. make some money and give it to a good developer. Like, yeah, it's pretty
You made
cool.
Dead Cells? Who's the developer?
It was an indie game, but I can look it up for you. Dead Cells is Motion Twin. And they also self-published in cooperation with Playdigious and Merge Games.
10 out of 10 on Steam. Bunch of really high scores for Dead Cells. I actually probably need to play that. I'm not a huge
it's great
roguelike game either.
but it's not my. It's weird how like I love Hollow Knight, but like Dead Cells. Again, it's just I think I liked the progression of Hollow Knight better, not the.
Yeah, and Hollow Knight isn't a roguelite. It's a Metroidvania. Yeah,
a true Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Because like there was a point where I died in Dead Cells, and I was like, there's just no save. Like I just do this again, and I just didn't like it. I don't know, it wasn't for me. And what's fun about roguelikes though is everyone's different, and so that's why I kind of want to give Hades a chance. And so one more game that I want to mention, and there actually are quite a few games. You'll definitely want to look up and just see all the different announcements that are made. It's just too much for this one podcast. But I got to bring up that finally Jedi Survivor was finally dropped, which is the sequel to the Jedi Fallen Order game that came out a couple of years ago, which I played. I loved Jedi Fallen Order. It was one of my favorite Star Wars games, and what I consider we were in a drought for a while of no good Star Wars games. We had that EA license that they produced two, in my opinion, mediocre Battlefronts.
You didn't like either of them.
I mean, I played some, and I didn't hate the games. They were mediocre. Well, I thought Jedi Fallen Order was really good, but it also felt like it didn't quite find its own tone. Like it was like, okay, this is kind of Dark Souls-y at times. It's kind of this action RPG at times. It was a little bit clunky, but like the story. But overall, it was a really good game, and I actually did like the story, and I loved the ending. This one, I think, looks like they know a little bit more about like who they are and what it is, and I think I'm really excited.
It's awesome. Yeah, I really need to dig back into Fallen Order. I played a little bit of it, just a couple hours, but I really did like what I played so far. So I would definitely be down for more of that type of game.
If you don't think you'll finish it, you should look up. You should like just watch all the cutscenes and like the key moments, because man, what a game!
Okay.
The end is so awesome. I loved it. One of those like stand up out of your chair moments in a video game.
Nice. Love that.
Those are always great.
Yeah. Not a lot of those. More of those in shows and movies than games. But I loved it. And I'm excited. Like in the trailer, if you watch the trailer, like he wields like two lightsabers, like two single lightsabers. They do a bunch of different things. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
So
the trailer was
more lightsabers equals more fun.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was in the first, 15, 20 seconds. I was like, what game is this? I had no idea.
Yeah. At first it was a little confusing. Yeah. It looks awesome.
Where was Xbox?
I don't know, man.
Phil Spencer.
They're in court with PlayStation.
A little too busy.
Yeah.
That's valid.
I don't know. I feel like
it was in Microsoft Theater. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it was
all
in the
they
Microsoft
needed.
Theater, and he is on the board for the Game Awards. Like he's one of the main people that
Phil Spencer?
Yeah, Phil Spencer. So I don't know. If I were to guess, they knew that this award was heavily, as far as the nominees, PlayStation. And maybe you just choose to distance yourself from this event and let PlayStation have the win. And save your ammunition. I mean, any game announcement, anything you do is almost like ammunition in a sense, you know? And so rather than announce some big games they're excited to announce now, why not do it at E3? Why not do it at your own event a month from now? Why not? Like, you don't have to go to the Game Awards, especially because they just had no games nominated. Everything was God of War and I don't know.
Do you think it's because they chose not to have games nominated?
No, I just don't think.
That?
What did Xbox have this year? Everything Xbox had was last year.
That is true. Like, yeah, Forza, Halo, that's all. Yeah.
It was all last year, and they were nominated. Forza won Game of the Year from.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Not from the Game Awards, but from like IGN in several places. But that was last year. So it's like, I don't know. I think they just decided to distance themselves a little bit from this one and just let it ride. And they'll have their Game Pass commercial. That's enough.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I feel like it's been a hot minute since we've had like a really exciting Xbox announcement.
Yeah, and they've bought and owned so many studios now. We know they're coming. Just gotta wait a little bit for it, I guess.
Yeah, that Bethesda bubble's about to pop.
The Bethesda bubble will pop. They've got a huge game coming out soon with Starfield. Yep. They also have what's the vampire game called? Red.
Not Dawn. What is it?
Redfall.
There it is.
Yep. And they also have their game. I think it's called Ascend. Not Ascend. Is that what it's called?
I'm not sure.
That's the Ascent. What am I thinking of? I don't know what it's. I can't think of it. Sorry, I'll look it up later. But it's their fantasy like Skyrim like game.
Oh, the Indiana Jones game too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that one. I'm actually really excited about that one.
That's PlayStation, right?
No, that's
Naughty Dog.
Well, not. It's TBD, I think actually, but it's that's Bethesda.
Oh,
Avowed was what I was
Avowed. Okay, yeah. But yeah, Indiana Jones is their answer to Uncharted and Tomb Raider. So they want to have some more just for Xbox. So I'm assuming it's just going to be Xbox, and it's going to be like a big, super blockbuster Uncharted competitor with a really cool, well-known IP. So I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where they're at, but I'm excited to see what's next for them. But yeah, so that was pretty much it. There's only one more piece of news, and I don't even know how to deliver this one. So at the very end of the Game Awards, Miyazaki and From Software won the Game of the Year for Elden Ring. And if you want to look it up, you're welcome to watch it on your own. And I don't want to go too much detail into this, but there was a young man who came up with them and just stood behind them. And, when there are lots of people go on stage during awards. And so for the longest time, I just thought it was someone with them and they were just hanging out. But then they all kind of, I don't know. It just, when it ends, he comes up and basically photobombs and crashes and has this moment.
Yeah. To set the stage, it's a bunch of middle-aged Japanese dudes. And then there's this one, he looks like maybe Hispanic or half black or whatever. And he's just chilling maybe 10 feet behind them while they're giving their acceptance speech. And then when they
closer than that, probably.
Maybe a little bit. But when they finish, he just walks up and just steps in front of the mic.
He kept looking to the left stage.
He's waiting to get tackled by security.
Yeah. I can't believe no one, but I guess he played it. So it's all about, and we've said it before. Calm. Yeah. He played like he was supposed to be there.
It wasn't the Kanye stealing the mic from Taylor Swift moment.
Yep.
So the kid's name apparently is Matan Even or Matan Ivanov, which it's confusing because he has a Twitter account name that he's had since March 2019. That could not be genuine, but and he's also being interviewed by Jason Schreier in a few different places. But he stays in character during the interviews. He's not breaking. It's like he's a character. And if you people looked up, he's been done social justice movements. He's been outspoken against China and the different scandals there and all the things going on. It's just wild. But yeah, that's why at the very beginning he stood up and he dedicated the Game of the Year award to his reformed, quote, his words, Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton.
Man, I was so dumbfounded when he said it. I was like, I didn't even register what he was saying. So like until you wrote it down in our notes, I was like, is that really what he said?
Well, the best part is the way the internet reacted, because the memes, man, they were flowing.
My favorite one is that it's Miyazaki and his entire team on stage, and in the background there's one of the characters from Among Us in the boys' place. It's just really funny.
Yeah, and I've seen several that like while he was walking onto the stage, there's the thing from Elden Ring that says, "You have been invaded by a bloody finger." You can see him in the background, red, and you're like, "Oh man,
that's incredible."
Yeah, that was pretty epic. But they did say that he was arrested, right?
He was, but I think he got out pretty quickly because he was. Yeah, he was being interviewed by journalists. Yeah, he probably just posted bail or something. I mean, or who knows even what the charge was? Trespassing? I don't know.
I think that's all they could have gotten him for, because he wasn't violent. It was just annoying.
But then also, like, if he had an invite to the event, is it trespass? I don't know. I think you just kick him out at that point and let it go.
Yeah.
A victimless crime.
Yeah, pretty wild. I don't know. Just a funny moment at the end of the Game Awards that will go down in internet history.
Just keeping Jeff on his toes.
And Jeff didn't blink, man. He just was like, he just moved on. It was great. Anyway, so that's it for today. Not a ton of news other than the Game Awards. I mean, that was a lot. We kind of went kind of quickly, but we're making good time. I'd like to talk to you guys about, man, how's dad life? How's 2 weeks out from Christmas shenanigans?
You go pee.
Well, Christmas
pee is for Preston. I'm not telling somebody to go to the bathroom.
Unless you have to.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just take our podcast with you.
Soothing sounds of video game podcasts.
Oh, no.
This is a different podcast now.
Now you put it on the bedroom, then it's a whole...
After hours.
Oh, man. I don't even know what I was saying now.
All night. Reformed
Christmas presents are bought. Christmas presents are bought for mostly everybody.
Nice. Very cool.
I always find another present for my son when we go anywhere, and I can't stop buying them.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Am I right that you're getting him a bike?
We are. We got him a scooter already as well. So he's getting a scooter and a bike.
So first bikes are fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
My kids never really jumped onto biking. They did it for a while. They just, I don't know.
That's because they
love their scooters. They love their scooters.
Oh, they do. They still like ride something, but not the bicycle. They just like the scooters better.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll see. The only gift I haven't gotten, the big gift that's left, is the one for my wife. So, but I won't say it on here because she actually does listen to the podcast.
Nice. Are you just going to put a bow on your head? Just sit under the tree?
Yes.
I am the gift.
I am the gift.
Girls aren't allowed to listen to video game podcasts.
How dare you?
No girls allowed.
No girls allowed. Yeah.
No, please.
Not going anywhere for Christmas either. I think I said that a couple weeks ago, but I'm super excited about that.
Bro,
and found out today it's supposed to snow Christmas Eve in Louisiana.
No, it's not.
That is in the forecast.
Look it up.
Look it up.
So we are 13 days out from Christmas.
Yes,
that's a bit of a stretch.
I already looked it up, and I even looked at what the what's he called? The weather guy,
the meteorologist.
Meteorologist said, and he was like, we are way out.
Yeah,
but there's a chance, is what he said.
It has happened before. It has snowed on Christmas Day in Louisiana.
It doesn't
wilder
happen
things have
often.
happened. No, that's like once every 10 years, maybe.
Yes. So that will be exciting. And literally yesterday, Rhett asked where the snow was. Rhett is my son. He's 3. And Christine, my wife, said, it doesn't snow here.
Has he seen snow?
No, never.
Okay.
And so that would be hilarious if Santa joins us and brings the snow.
I mean, that'd be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I am always for like, there are a lot of people that are like, I don't like the snow. And I'm like, do you not like the snow, or do you just not like living in the snow? Because like snow for a day or even a week is pretty
way
awesome.
different. Well, everything shuts down here, so it's just fun.
It becomes a holiday. It's just like, it's fun, and it becomes this like, but if you like 3 months, that's totally different. I'm not talking about
living in the snow is way different. I don't even like driving in the snow, but yeah,
living
like
in the snow,
hanging out in the snow for a day or a couple days. Yeah. Super great.
Yeah. We're going to Kansas City for Christmas. We're going to go on the 22nd and stay until like the 28th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the same forecast that makes it seem like it might snow here is why it probably will snow in Kansas City. And so I'm really excited.
Nice. That's cool. We're doing the same thing as P. We're just Preston. we're just hanging at home. We might go to my mom's house, but we did the travel thing for Thanksgiving, and usually we like stay put for one and then travel for the other, and we kind of flip flop each other. So we're staying put for Christmas. Going to spend it Christmas morning in our own home. Do all that thing. I still have some presents to buy for sure for multiple people. So I'm gonna try to get cracking on that this week. But that's me. I'm definitely a procrastinator.
I had some presents shipped to my old address because I guess I know I don't ever order from Target online.
Oh,
and I guess apparently that was so tomorrow I need to go to my old house and see if I can pick that up. And then I have some stocking stuff, just little things, but for the most part I'm done as well, which feels very nice. And I'm ready, man. I'm ready to do. I don't know. I do. Sometimes it takes me a little while to get in the mood for Christmas. Like I still wasn't in it. I feel like the warm weather really makes me be like,
it's not Christmas.
The past couple of weeks here has been a bummer for sure. It's been rainy and warm and like straight up like hot some days. It's been like in the 80s, which is
and it takes me
bummer.
out of the season. Like I don't know.
So,
I need the cold.
Something fun we're doing, and Houston, you're more than welcome to join us for this. We're having an after Christmas party. My wife and I love to host parties at our house. I love to host parties. She likes to appease me, I should say. But what we're going to do this year, instead of doing, white elephant or dirty Santa or whatever you call it, is everybody's bringing a gift that they got that they didn't really want, so they don't have to buy another gift.
Nice.
And we're going to do a gift exchange.
Oh, cool.
Based
that's
on
fine.
re-gifts.
We did that tonight at our church group, but it was just like you can't buy it. It has to be something that you already own in your house. And you have to wrap it with whatever you have on hand. You can't go buy new wrapping paper or a bag. So
That's amazing.
Fun. I gave away some old gaming headsets and a really bad used up mouse in a shoebox with Finding Nemo duct tape on it. It was pretty great.
Oh, I want the duct tape.
That's awesome.
I still have some left. Come get it.
I'll be there tomorrow. Be there in the morning, bright and early.
But thanks for the invite. Yeah, I might take you up on that. That sounds fun.
5 a.m.
5. So, all right. So a little parting the kimono a little bit here. We've been having a lot of conversations on like.
Don't use that analogy.
What? That's a whole thing. That's
thing.
definitely a saying. All right, we're peeling back the curtain. Is that a little better for you?
Oh man!
Have you never heard parting the kimono?
Let me just open this kimono up for you.
Anyway, a little behind the scenes for you.
Skirt. That's a
pretty much, but a little behind the scenes. So are in constant flux of asking. It's not really debate. It's just asking one another, hey, like when's good to record, or like we still haven't like found our like perfect rhythm yet. Because one, Preston is a morning person, which is like gross, right?
Yeah,
and,
correct.
And Andy and I are normal, non-cyborg human beings.
We are normal humans
that go to bed at 11 p.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And Preston's like, I'm wide awake at 5. I'm like, you're a crazy person.
Yeah.
And so he's on multiple occasions asked us to record at 5 a.m. non-ironically. And I'm like, no.
Not
We are
happening.
allowed to tease. And here's why. Morning people are the most elitist people. Morning people, hot take here. Morning people legitimately always like, it's always like, I'm up this day, I'm better. I started my day with a bang. I'm like, yeah, but then you're asleep by 9. Like
They're like vegans.
Like you disappeared. Like you're not working at night. Like, I don't know.
I'm just poking fun. I totally respect if you want to be vegan, but that's just a stereotype.
I will
and it's
say
fun to
this.
make fun of.
I am here. It's 11 o'clock right now.
You are.
And
You are.
Andy and I, in our side jobs, we a lot of times are out late at weddings, filming and doing things like that. And I don't know. I don't have a problem doing that. It's not. If I can be in bed at 9 o'clock, I'm about that life.
Yeah,
But
I hear you.
I
And
understand.
to be fair, so we talked about this. I'm probably more like I go to bed most nights at 11, wake up every day, regardless, around 6, maybe a little after 6, 6:15, 6:30 at the latest. And that's my daily wake up. But when I go to bed changes and it ranges. Sometimes I go to bed at midnight. Shoot. When I was playing God of War, I was pushing 1 a.m. or longer a few times. But then I also go to bed at 9 p.m. Like it really is just, it swings and it depends how tired I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a spectrum for me too. I would say like I borderline on like mild insomnia some nights. Like every blue moon, I'll be up to like 4 or 5 in the morning just because I like just can't sleep. But most nights I'm like midnight, 12:30 is like my actual bedtime. So yeah, all that to say, like there's some like, okay, like it sucks for Preston doing this, but then like Andy and I like our like routines are just later, so we're just always in flux and trying to figure that out. But
Yeah.
thank you, Preston, for bearing with us. When we get our Patreon going, we'll dedicate the first, I don't know what sum, to getting you like a half calf coffee and like a really nice pillow or something like that. So you can stay up a little longer and then you can sleep better after.
There it is.
When we have multiple shows, we'll get a whole crew just for you to run the 5 a.m. show.
There we go.
There you go. You can have your cake and eat it too.
Yep.
But I think Patreon's actually not a bad idea. Maybe when we get a few more listeners, we can probably throw it up there. I mean, just
I think
$1 a month, $2 a month.
it would be nice. And that would be like, if we ever do expand and do more, I think that we would need some support to have the time to do more. Because right now we are all working multiple jobs to support our families. And at the moment, this is just a thing we're doing because it's fun and we like it. But if we're ever to do more, yeah, a little income wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. But we really enjoy having these chats and kind of conversing with the listeners that want to talk with us. So definitely foresee us continuing this for a while. And
let your friends know. Let your friends know about the podcast because, or a loved one, or I don't know. You got an uncle who likes video games. Maybe he'll be interested. There
Definitely.
you go. Well, that's pretty much it for tonight. Thank you guys. As always, we were so very grateful that you would tune in each and every week, or even just if this is your first time. Thank you very much for joining us. We are on every week, or trying to be. We'll let you know next week what our holiday schedule is. You know, we haven't really thought about that too much yet, but we might not be as typical with our schedule coming up. But I'd like to stay on it personally.
Some live gameplay, maybe.
Yeah, maybe we replace podcast because the news can be a little slow too. We could do a special episode on like just dadding it up, or we could maybe just stream something that could be pretty fun too. So we'll let you all know by next week. Thank you guys. This is Dad Casual. You can always reach us on any social media or email at us at dadcasualpodcast@gmail.com. And we can't wait to hear from you. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Bill Clinton.
Oh,